Hello guys, in previous lecture we have completed use state hook. Now today we are going to discuss use effect hook. So use effect hook is a hook which will help you to perform side effect. So what do you mean by side effect? Side effect is nothing to perform some API call and manipulating the DOM elements. So we can implement use effect hook in three ways. First way, where we are not going to define any array dependency, and in that scenario use effect hook will run only once when browser is loaded the UI. Now second implementation of use effect hook is where we are going to define array dependency. So once the array dependency value going to be updated, at that scenario that use effect going to be triggered. Now the third scenario of use effect hook is where we are going to use cleanup function. So once our component going to be unmount, in that scenario that use effect going to be triggered. So now going to implement this use effect hook in our component. So first we need to import use effect hook from React package. Now first we are going to implement first case of use effect hook, where we are not going to define any array dependency. Now use effect hook take one arrow function under it and array dependency. So here we are not going to define any array dependency variable, and now under use effect hook we are going to console the value, and in the console we will type execute only once. Now I am going to save the thing. Now you can see the result onto the console, executed only once. Now the second scenario, we are going to implement use effect hook where we will define some array dependency. So for that one we are going to define one state variable, and for that state variable we will give a name of count, set count, and the initial value for that is 0. So what I want to do, I'm going to create, first I'm going to show you the value of state variable count to the UI. So first we need to import use state hook from React package. Now the error will result. Now you can see the value of count variable to the UI. Now I am going to create a button where user click on this button. Now it will increment the value of state variable by 1. So now I am going to define use effect hook, where I am going to define this count state variable as array dependency, and under this use effect hook I am going to add console log. It will run when we update value of count. So now here you can see we have button. Now I am going to clear this console. So once user will click on the click button, then it will increment the value of count variable, and also we can see in the console the use effect is going to be triggered. Let's check it out. So here you can see when I click on the button, the value is going to be increment by 1, and you can see this use effect is going to be triggered and it is showing the console value. Now again I am going to click on the click button. It will increment the value by 1 again, and again it will trigger the use effect hook, and that value going to be shown onto the console. Here you can see now it is showing 2. Again when I click 3, 4, more than 2 to 3, 4 times, again it will going to be triggered and trigger the use effect hook. Here you can see now we have clicked 6 times, the value is going to be 6, and also the use effect is going to be triggered 6 times. So this is the second scenario where whatever the value of state variable is going to be incremented, in that scenario that use effect is going to be triggered. Now there is third use effect hook scenario. Now I'm going to remove this first one, and in this one I'm going to return a function. So this return function nothing but a cleanup function. So now let me clear the thing. Now when I click on the click button, here you can see it is when the component is going to be unmount, in that scenario this cleanup function going to be triggered. So now we have covered all three scenarios of use effect hook, and now you can understand how can we implement use effect hook in your project and anywhere. So that's it from the perspective of use effect hook, and thank you guys.